Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flo.
When Flo flows, she flows in the know. Mind ruminates the rates. Shown them all, I heed the call. Seeing the rest, I choose the best. Sometimes it's ours, sometimes it's not. When the fox walks, is it called a fox trot? That's a real question.
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to episode 717 of No BS Job Search Advice Radio. Throughout all of 2017, I'm focused on interviewing on this show. And on my other show, Job Search Radio, I handle all the other stuff about job search. So today's show, I answer someone's question about 11 interviews, 11 no hires. What am I doing wrong? I'm not getting results. So I hope you find the show helpful and give it 5 stars in iTunes. It does help other people find it. And by the way, since this is Sunday, why don't you take a moment, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, to go over to LinkedIn and send a connection request to me. My page there is at linkedin.com/in/the Big Game Hunter. Now, let's get going. There's an interesting message that someone left that I thought would make for a great video. So here it is. As of today, I've been unemployed for 2 months. Day in and day out, I'm searching for jobs through various job boards, hitting the pavement with resumes in hand, cold calling companies and trying to arrange interviews. I've been working with 8 different recruiters to assist me in my job search, and not one has sent me on an interview. Instead, I've had numerous agencies rip me to shreds in regards to my last job, compensation, and reasoning for termination, not returning my calls nor my emails, and just making disparaging remarks. This is their an extra piece that they add on that I'm not going to address. Well, I will address, actually. For some reason, this may put a damper on their spirit, but not for me. I am more determined, driven, and motivated now than I have ever been. So when I read this, I want to address the recruiters for a second and just say that, recruiters are unable to create interviews for people. Employers tell them about jobs open, skills required, and salary that they're willing to pay for an individual. So those 8 different recruiters representing, I'll assume, 8 different recruiting firms, you've reached out to, and they don't have anything for you. So their job is not to respond to your emails or calls for the heck of it, because you want to check in with them. They're there to deliver for their client who is paying them. This person, these recruiters don't have a job for you. And they're not out there pounding the pavement as you are, because they are hired by corporations to fill jobs, not by individuals to work for free. Follow that? So I'm glad that your spirits haven't been dampered. But I must also say, you also haven't been learning the lesson from the recruiter behavior. And the lesson may be, and I have to say it is maybe, that perhaps your skills and perhaps your interviewing and the impact of the decision you made for, you say termination, I'll consider it as resignation, may not indicate that you're a superior candidate. You may be asking for too much money. You may be interviewing poorly. Your decision for why you quit your last job may indicate immaturity. Or if you were terminated, it's a story that suggests that you really weren't good at your job and your employer fired you for cause. So what I want to encourage you to do is to take a little time to reflect on the message, because, hey, look, if they're wrong, if you've done a check about the value that you bring to the market, and it's in line, not necessarily with the high range, but within the range in some way, shape, or form, then you just keep going out there and applying for jobs, pounding the pavement, and doing what you're always doing. So I must also say that you're looking through job boards and recruiters, and those two together statistically fill 30% of positions. The rest are filled through networking, and that's not what I'm reading that you're doing. What I'm reading that you're doing is spending time with a little bit less than 1/3 of how jobs are filled, and not mentioning all the networking that you're doing. So I suspect you're not doing much. So start doing some networking. Start to create relationships that allow you to present yourself to former colleagues, people that you know, people who went to your same university, and see if they can help you. If they can't help you, then you definitely have to adapt. But recognize today that it's important for you to, number one, reevaluate to see whether or not the recruiters might be right. And you can do that in a variety of ways. But number two, if they are not right, start adding networking to your repertoire. Matter of fact, whether they're right or not, start adding networking to your repertoire. So this way you have access to more positions than what you're getting access to now. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few ways that you can connect with me. The first one, of course, is reach out to me on LinkedIn. My page there is linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love to hear from my listeners. It just puts a big smile on my face. Next, if you're an executive and interested in my coaching you, email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Mention in the subject line that you're interested in coaching. I'll reach back to you. We'll set up a time to speak. We'll figure out whether this makes sense. I want to be clear. I'm not here to be your recruiter. I no longer do search work. I'm a coach helping people find their next position. And as such, my work is not free. I'm not doing this as a charitable endeavor. I'm here to see whether I can help you and whether your background is something where I can be of service. And if you're not an executive, the best place to connect with me is with JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. That's my site where I've curated information that I've created and other people have created. It's there with their permission, of course. And you can ask me questions. So right now there's over 400 pieces of content there, plus the ability to ask me questions. So again, JobSearchCoachingHQ.com is that site. And by the way, and I haven't really mentioned this on the site, in addition to doing job search coaching, I also do executive coaching and life coaching. And I've done so for years. So if you're interested in that, message me again at my email address, jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Tell me about what you're interested in, and I'll get back to you and we'll talk about it. Hope you found this helpful, and in the meantime, have a great day. Take care.